What's up, guys? Rose ink has been getting a lot of attention, it seems like, here on YouTube, and I've been hearing pretty much nothing but good things. So I have every product to try, with the exception of the lip crayons, and I want to share my thoughts. So let's go ahead and dive in. First, starting with what I've heard, I think the most good about is the concealer. Mine is in the shade LX050, and it comes with this massive doe foot applicator you can see here. And what's funny is the formula to me is very similar to a lot of other formulas that also use a massive doe foot, like the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. This to me is almost identical to that in terms of coverage and texture. Like, it's a very thick concealer, which was surprising to me. I don't know why I thought this was going to be a lighter coverage or a more natural looking coverage maybe, but this is as full as you want to build it. Boy, is it full coverage. And I think it's a little bit more hydrating than the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. The one thing that you can see I have run into here, I'll show you a close-up, is this massive doe foot. There's something going on with my stopper in here, and it's become quite a mess around the outside. So I do need to be a little careful when I put it back in there and twist it down. I am going to have product coming out the sides pretty soon if I'm not careful. Aside from that little packaging feature, I'm pretty surprised and pleased with how this does. And even today, which I'm gonna have a short review coming out of the foundation that I wore today, it was an absolute fail. It's a powder foundation, is dry as the desert, and I thought, and I put it on before I put on any concealer, so I was like, I'm not gonna be able to salvage this look. I actually did. I applied this over top of that foundation, and the dryness of that disaster was no match for the creaminess of this concealer. So I wouldn't recommend exclusively using this to fix your makeup blunders, but I do think that that really speaks to how great the formula is. Like, it is so creamy that it's gonna play nicely, I think, with a lot of different formulas out there, or just wearing it alone. If all you wanna do is wear concealer, you know, spot conceal, under eye area, this is gonna give you a lot of coverage. To apply that, I use the #1 brush, the concealer brush from the collection, and it's good. I don't know that it does anything that any other brush that I have in my collection doesn't already do. If you don't have a concealer brush, this is a nice one, and you know you're getting the concealer, you want something that was designed to complement the application. This is a good one to go for. It's angled and it's dense, and so it is great for, but it's still relatively small, so it's good for getting in those precise areas like your under eye area, really blending that product out without blending it into nothingness. You know what I mean? If you get a brush that's too fluffy, you just blend it away, essentially, and you get no coverage. This keeps it nice and dense while still allowing you to buff and blend it out as you want to sheer out your coverage. But as I was going through my other, makeup brushes, I found these two. This is an old one from Real Techniques. I don't even know that they make this anymore. It was from their Essentials collection, but something similar to this. They definitely have something similar to this in their collection, where it's essentially a dense, domed brush that's really great for buffing and blending product out. Or the Sigma Precision Angled P84 brush, really anything from their Precision line. They're like mini kabuki brushes. They're very dense, and the P84 specifically is angled, so you get that similar angled cut if you like that for your under eye area. But do I have anything identical to the #1 brush from Rose Inc? No, but I do think I have a lot of brushes that accomplish the same sort of thing. So not bad, but if you have a big and growing brush collection, you might already have something in it that is similar. Now let's get into the blushes. One of my favorite things about the blushes is actually, even aside from the formula, the fact that you can buy the refills alone. You can get them in individual compacts, but as someone who has magnetic palettes that I can throw individual pans like this into, I love that I can save money on packaging. I can save the packaging itself, like just avoid buying and generating more packaging. So I do really love that Rose Inc did that. Then as far as the formula and the performance goes, I have no complaints there either. The two shades that I got are Heliotrope. And this is one that I got thinking, without really being able to feel like I could see an accurate shade depiction on any of the websites I looked on. This is one that I thought it's going to be beautiful as it is, but it also might be a little bit brown leaning such that it could be a blush slash bronzer. So that was my thinking behind this, is that on the days when I don't want to do a full face bronze, this will act not only as a pinky blush as I move it closer to the apples of my cheeks, but if I, bring it back towards my hairline and kind of up into my hairline around my temples, it's going to kind of fake a bronzy glow. And it does, on my skin tone, do just that. Then the other shade that I got, Ophelia, is a bit brighter, a bit more pinky, almost a corally actually, and it is very pigmented, very colorful. I thought I could use it in conjunction with my Heliotrope, use that as a bronzer towards the back of my cheeks, and then pop Ophelia on the apples, which is actually what I am wearing today. Or you can also see Ophelia just applied alone, and it is, I would say it shears out to less of a coral, like the orange tones in this go away for me, and it tends to lean more of a cool, rosy pink almost. Although it is very buildable. What I have found with both of these is that they're very pigmented and you can certainly shear them out and they really melt into the skin, but if you build them up, you're going to get and keep a lot of pigment with these. And they are a cream formula, so there is some dry time involved. I find that they don't dry down to a complete powdery finish. Like there is a little bit of dewy texture there, but you can see just in me kind of touching it, it doesn't move the product around at all. Like I haven't experienced any product movement throughout the day, and that's even with mask wearing and stuff, unless I'm wearing masks like for an extended period of time, just throwing it on to like go in the grocery store or whatever. I haven't noticed a lot of breakdown, where those bands tend to be. But I will say that is coming from someone with dry skin. I used to be able to give a combo oily skin perspective, and my skin has been super dry lately, and so it could also just be that my skin is just soaking up any of that moisture that it gets onto it. Oh, and to apply those, I also, once again, picked up the other brush that Rose Inc launched, which was the number 2 brush. This is an angled duo fiber brush, which I thought was kind of interesting, but again, same sort of conclusion that I came to with the number 1 brush. It is nice. I can totally see how it was designed to go with these cream blushes because you can really stipple it on. Because it's a duo fiber, it's really good at buffing and blending cream product out, and that angle, it just gives you a really nice angle for this cheekbone area, or buffing and blending out across, the apples of your cheeks, or working it up into your temples like I did here. It's a really nice brush. It was clearly designed to go with these cream blush shades, but I have been applying cream blush with other products I have in my collection, so I do notice that it's similar to two Real Techniques brushes, the sculpting brush. And again, they feel like they have gone through, they're like continuously launching new brushes and discontinuing old brushes. They have new sets and individuals, so I'm not sure if these exact brushes exist within the line anymore, but I do know they are bound to have something similar. The sculpting brush, this is like an angled, dense kabuki brush, gives you the exact same effect. Not the duo fiber sort of thing, but it helps you buff and blend out products along the cheekbones. And then the other one is the Expert Face Brush. And this, I think they have to have, because this has been in their collection for forever. You don't get the angled feature to it, but it does the same thing, where you can just kind of like pounce product on the skin, buff and blend it out, or build it as you want to. So the Rose Inc brushes are nice, but not necessary if you find you've already been applying cream blushes or concealer without a problem with the brushes already in your collection. And last up is the brow gel. I got a tinted brow gel, and mine is the shade Fill number 4, which I think is a great shade match for me. It's like a medium brown. It's not too cool, but it's also not warm. Like I wouldn't consider this like an auburn sort of shade, and yet it's not ashy either. Like it is really a great shade for what I have going on right now. The brush is relatively small. It's not the smallest that's out there or the thinnest that's out there, but I do think it's manageable for brows. It's not a mascara wand, so it does allow you to be a little bit more precise in your brow area, although I will say, and you'll be able to see this in the demo that I show here applying it today, If you get too much excess product at the very end, the tapered end, you may notice it winds up on your skin or in the baby hairs kind of surrounding your brow area, and that might make it look a little bit more messy, just a little bit harder to clean up. One thing I want to point out though that you also might see is that it looks like there's some flakiness. That, once again, is the fault of the foundation that I'm wearing today. It's so bad. But it got kind of, because it's powder foundation, it got kind of caught up in my brow areas, and so I noticed that some of this brow gel was clinging to like flakes, powder foundation flakes in my brow area. That is not the fault of this brow gel. That's the horrible foundation. But like any tinted brow gel, if you get too much excess on your wand, it will cling to like the smaller non-brow hairs that are just, you know, exist on your face, and it might make your brows look bigger, fluffier, more out of control than maybe you had anticipated. Not necessarily a bad thing if you're going for fuller brows, but sometimes I feel like on me, it makes it seem like or look like I didn't like stay in the lines with my brow gel, but that's a general concern with any tinted brow gel. It just often makes it easier to avoid that if you have a smaller, more precise wand, like the Makeup Forever. Makeup Forever is new. I don't think I have it sitting out here, but I've been using that for quite a while too, and they have a super thin brow wand that really allows you to get super precise. And so that I would say is the best, but this isn't the worst. And the brow gel itself is very natural feeling. Like, it doesn't leave your brows feeling crispy or crunchy. It's not the strongest hold brow gel, I wouldn't say either. Like, because of that, you get a little bit of movement. You are going to notice that your brows, if you have especially unruly brows, they might not stay in place where you put them all day. You might need to put like a wax in them first and then go in and tint them, or a stronger hold gel and then go in with this, or vice versa, however you prefer to do it. But the way I see this being best used is to not only add tint to your brows, but also add a little bit of volume that the product literally adds to your brow hairs itself. And it does a good job at that. I just wouldn't expect it to be a super strong hold for you throughout the day. So basically, you can skip the brushes. The concealer is as good as everybody is saying it is, as are the blushes, and the brow gel is pretty decent too. If you want to see reviews of some other new products I've talked about, you can check out this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye guys.